The first issue of the new comic book titled The Gap Year is out right now, which essentially bridges the gap between Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day. And as mentioned, Avatar: The Gap Year Tipping Point Issue 1 was released on October the 22nd and can be bought digitally, which is part of a 6-issue series. The official description reads, quote, "A beyond-the-screen adventure filling in the gap year at the outset of the hit film Avatar: The Way of Water. After defending their home of Pandora and sending the RDA packing back to Earth nearly 15 years ago, the Na'vi returned to their peaceful lives. Former Marine Jake Sully, now accepted as Na'vi himself in an Avatar body, has started a family with Neytiri. Despite more than a decade of peace, Jake knows the RDA isn't done with Pandora yet, and now he's proven right as they return in force. With his adopted people and his children at stake, Jake will need to lead the Na'vi into war once again, this time facing more firepower and advanced weapons, with new enemies who have just as much to fight for." End quote. The comic book was written by Ethan Sachs, while the cover artist Salvatore Porcaro did a phenomenal job, along with the colorist Michael Ateye. Now, The Gap Year Tipping Point Issue 1 opens with a powerful sense of inevitability. After 15 years of peace following the RDA's retreat, Jake Sully's voiceover reminds us that tranquility on Pandora can never last. The comic captures the precise moment when that fragile calm begins to fracture, the tipping point before the Way of Water begins. Ethan Sachs crafts a story that feels faithful to James Cameron's cinematic vision, disciplined military precision clashing against the Na'vi's instinctive unity with nature. The story moves between Na'vi ambushes deep within the forest and RDA forward operations, showing how both sides have evolved since their last war. Jake's narration frames that growing tension. He knows the RDA will return, and his words carry the weight of a father already preparing his children for a world that demands warriors. Salvatore Porcaro's line art captures the vastness and vitality of Pandora's wilderness. Every panel feels alive, soaked in bioluminescent light and tangible texture. His depiction of the Na'vi is striking. Their movements are fluid, agile, and full of instinctive energy, while the RDA soldiers move like machines, heavy and deliberate with their armored frames. Their contrast is beautifully executed. The hand-to-hand sequences, especially those between the Na'vi warriors and RDA, pulse with cinematic rhythm and weight. Michael Ateye's colors breathe life into the page, dense greens and glowing blues from Pandora's living heartbeat, while the introduction of fire, tracer rounds, and muzzle flashes turn that same palette into chaos. The lighting feels almost alive, as though the forest itself is reaching to the violence invading it. Ateye's work, paired with Porcaro's expressive line art, gives the comic a distinct sense of motion and emotion, an environment storytelling style that feels like a continuation of the films themselves. Ethan Sachs, known for Old Man Hawkeye and Star Wars Bounty Hunters, approaches Pandora through the eye of a soldier who has learned too much about the cost of survival. His dialogue gives both the Na'vi and the human forces moral texture, avoiding the easy divide between good and evil. Among the RDA, Major Bukowski stands out as a man conflicted, fascinated by the beauty of Pandora yet blinded by humanity's need to claim it. His quiet reflection on wanting his descendants to inherit this moon encapsulates the central contradiction of the Avatar universe, the human instinct to conquer what they love instead of learning to coexist with it. For Jake, this isn't a story of vengeance, but of legacy. He fights not just for his people, but for his family, for the world his children will inherit. Sachs brings a quieter, more introspective tone to the comic, a perspective shaped by age, fatherhood, and the knowledge that even victory can fade. The issue doesn't just bridge two movies, it bridges generations. It's the emotional connective tissue between Avatar and The Way of Water, showing us the slow transformation of a warrior into a protector. Throughout the issue, several moments capture the essence of Avatar. The Na'vi Navi's fierce adaptability is on full display in a brutal hand-to-hand battle, a fight that feels both grounded and primal. Jake and Neytiri return to the skies on their Ikran, leading aerial strikes that blend elegance with chaos, drawn with breathtaking motion and energy. The closing scenes, however, trade spectacle for meaning. As the RDA soldiers marvel at Pandora's beauty and wonder, the Na'vi stand over burnt ground, reminded once again that admiration without respect always leads to ruin. Avatar: The Gap Year, Tipping Point Issue 1 is a confident and visually stunning opening issue that feels like a natural extension of the film. Ethan Sachs' writing is restrained yet deeply emotional, capturing the tone of Pandora perfectly, while Salvatore Porcaro's art delivers a world that feels alive and breathing. Michael Ateo's colors elevate every panel with cinematic realism, creating a perfect balance between beauty and brutality. Overall, it is a gorgeously illustrated prelude that captures the delicate balance between peace and war, the calm before the storm. I was very excited yet cautious when they announced new comic books in the Avatar universe, because sometimes in other stories and other movies, when they extend the story into a comic book, sometimes it can ruin certain stories or it can contradict what was displayed on screen. But I do think that The Gap Year is the perfect way on how to do it correctly. I highly recommend issue 1, and I cannot wait for the second issue, which is out in a couple of weeks. But if you've read the first issue, what are your thoughts of this, and are you excited about the rest? Let me know in the comments below, and for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.